Jay Tubb here. This is the Jay Tubb Podcast Show with guest Pete Kane, my high school buddy. And he's been on quite a journey. So I want to ask some questions about that because, among other things, like dealing with typical conditions of aging, like your knee hurt, but you had a stroke. So, having the interest in natural remedies and holistic living that I do, I'm wondering what you found that has really helped you get through the day.
Oh, that's a great question. So when I've always been interested in holistic strategies, and I was kind of a good self-learner. I would check into things, I'd find things. But what I found after my stroke is I cut out sugar, I cut out alcohol, I cut out those, and I cut out social media, TV. I was really interested on repairing the brain, rewiring the brain. I listened and watched a lot of things. So I was more interested in holistic after my stroke because I heard somebody told me, like, we have 100 units of energy, and how we use our energy makes a difference whether it's going to last till 3 o'clock in the afternoon or will you get through the whole day. So I was really interested because my stamina was affected. So when I cut out sugar, I got clarity. When I cut out alcohol, I got clarity. When I cut out social media, I got mental clarity. And TV, the same thing. I discovered a whole new world I never knew existed. And I have tried every product from Focus Factor to you name it. Whatever they said would help me with my ADD and my focus, I bought it. So I have tried everything. But since my stroke, and doing those things has been the best thing I ever did. And my journey's not over. I am always looking.
So basically, you cleaned up your diet, not just food wise, but what goes in your eyeballs, into your head.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I could see where social media is always competing for attention. So how can you keep your focus? Well, yeah.
And you know what? Also, Jay, I got introduced to the glucose revolution, and she had a back injury or something, and it led her down the path of studying, more about the body. And I made one little shift. It was vegetables first. I never knew that my whole life. But when I started eating my vegetables first, I didn't have the spike that I normally would have. And so my energy increased. I always eat guacamole cups from Costco. I actually have an app that I use that I kind of get a quick score. And that app gave it 100 out of 100. And so I felt like I'm doing the right thing because it's in little cups. I eat that before I eat anything. And my energy is very, very high throughout the whole day because I think I'm getting the right order of how I eat my products or my food.
What was the product called again?
It was
the cup.
it was called the Glucose Revolution. I don't remember her name, but my doctor.
Well, I mean, the thing you were eating.
Oh, it was guacamole cups, those little avocado type.
Oh, guacamole.
Cups. Yeah, and it was just like $15 for $14, and so I have them in my refrigerator all the time. When I run low, I go get them, and it's just a way of getting those vegetables, and avocado is good for you too. And I've noticed how my energy, I used to eat lunch and I would, have those where my my energy would go down because it's trying to consume whatever I ate. I don't have those dips like I used to. I consistently have energy by putting vegetables first. And I'm so glad I found her by accident, really.
Well, are there accidents really? I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's great. That's a really good tip. I mean, I feel like I'm surrounded by people who are offering me uh, basically candy, but I was at a coffee with some friends of mine today, and somebody brought croissants, and somebody else brought cookies, and I brought apple cider vinegar potato chips, which were a nice counterbalance to all the sugar. So
Yes.
there's something else to choose from. And then somebody brought a plate of apple slices, which was nice. But those are choices, and that was really graphic to me today. Was like, oh yeah, part of me wants to grab one of those cookies or the scones that were like
Yeah.
covered in sugar, but sticking with the potato chips and the apple seemed like a happy medium.
Yeah, I think sugar has been the biggest discovery for me. I go over to Kennesaw Mountain High School, and I once a month I work with the sophomores over there, and it's a program by John Maxwell called Habitus. But what was interesting is we give the kids like a snack, and here it is. I go from 11 to 12. Well, the snacks every single time they're donuts, chocolate
Right.
bars, or junk, really. And so you're feeding the body junk, and we're supposed to keep our attention and be at peak levels. I don't have any say in the thing. I just get my curriculum, take the box of whatever, and a lot of them will say, "Hey, do you want this candy bar?" I say now, no. I don't eat donuts. I don't eat chocolate bars. I The only thing I'm now do is kind of my reward snack. I take banana pudding, I put walnuts, blueberries, I put bananas, and I put some other nuts and sometimes some pumpkin seeds. And I put that in and I make that. That's kind of my dessert because I discovered that walnuts and blueberries,
Hmm.
salmon, there's a lot of good things for the brain. If we feed our brain what it wants, not sugar, it functions at a high level. It's just amazing what it's kind of like. I think if
You're
you
freezing
give,
up.
oh, really? Okay. I can see you fine. And it might be on your end because mine is clear and I hear it, but you did have a little pause there. I didn't know if it was freezing or what,
Yeah.
but okay. But go ahead. You're fine now.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. So those are really good tips on basically just mean being more efficient, feeding your body better fuel,
Yeah.
so that I mean, uh, especially in schools, I know ADD is such a big thing. Well, for everybody with social media, but those kids, growing brains, you feed them sugar, and they're going to be bouncing off the walls, basically. So how can they
Absolutely.
focus and learn well? So
Yep.
that's where good nutrition comes in importantly. So with your uh, journey, so you found that cleaning up your diet has helped, getting off of
And
social media.
mhm.
What about in the body? What modalities have you used um,
I would say,
in your healing?
if I look at my daily routine, I drink like 20 ounces of water first thing in the morning because I found out it hydrates your brain and your body because it dehydrates during your sleep. So that's the first thing I do. Then I think critical thinking has been very helpful for me to do that. And then I journal, plan, and I implement. But part of how I supplement myself, I got a green supplement from Costco. I use another I think it's called cognigen. I believe it's a powder. I put blueberries, I put bananas, and I put some things to keep my plumbing working, if you know what I
Fiber.
mean.
Fiber,
Well,
yeah.
this isn't fiber, but it's the same thing as what fiber does. Because when I had my stroke, my system didn't work for 10 days. Now, people say guys can't have babies. Well, I agree with it, but we can't have the pain associated with that.
Right. Sure.
I was in the worst pain of my life. It was 10 days of stuff backing up, and it
Oh,
wasn't until that finally got released. And I'm telling you, it was so painful. I will never go through that again. So I make sure I take stool softeners and I take this white powder in my shake to keep everything flowing, because movement is medicine, and I want to keep it moving right through me.
amen. Yeah, no, I take fiber daily
Yeah.
in capsules, but I have a powdered version also to add to my protein powder. And I take greens. I have I take moringa, which is very nutritious. But
Mhm.
so you do a shake every morning?
Every morning. I don't eat solid foods
Yeah.
till like 12:30, with the
Mhm.
exception, I go to Rotary on Thursday. They have a buffet breakfast. I will eat that
Yeah.
because I don't, one day a week, but it still throws my system off. Like,
Mhm.
I'm so routine, it's scary because I do this, I drink the water, I do the shake. And I can tell you exactly when things are going to happen, because it's just when you give the body routine and give it consistency, it does respond. And I think I'm a person who'll try anything. We were talking before we got on the air, acupuncture. I have had dry needling, but I've never had acupuncture. And I was at the vet fair, and there was this booth there, and they were doing acupuncture. And I was talking to the lady, and sure enough, she put me through a little bit of acupuncture, not on the table with the needles, but this was a form of it, because she showed me the ear and all the things the ear will be responsible for, trigger and stuff. So I
Mhm.
had like a torn meniscus. I told her it was in my right knee. And so she feels around, she looks at the thing, she put something in my ear. Now, it was painful when she was doing it, but it had no pain anymore. I rub it
It
each
was it
morning.
was it was pain being released, right?
Yes, exactly. That's what
Right.
she said. We're
Not it
releasing.
wasn't pain because she stuck a needle in your ear. It was a
Yes,
pain that
yes,
opened up, that
yes,
meridian or whatever. So
yes,
that's, uh, 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 it's a representative kind of medicine like reflexology,
yes.
where they can work on your foot and find, like, the pain in your lower back, for instance.
Yeah,
But
that's amazing.
there's,
I've always Yes, I've seen the foot, but I never knew the ear. But I think we're both this way. We keep an open mind, because
yes, definitely.
if I were to walk by and say, I've heard about that acupuncture, I don't want any of that, I would have missed out on that opportunity. But I
Sure.
was intrigued by the fact that the difference between dry needling, which I've gotten a number of times at my physical therapist, but I had never gotten acupuncture. So it was a whole new world. But I'm so glad that I just let her play with my ear and release that pain. I mean, it was
Yeah.
painful. I mean, I
Well,
knew,
that's
and she told me exactly what you say. Because I'm releasing the pain, you do have some pain down there. And I was going, man, it just
yeah.
didn't dawn on me until I left. And the next day, I didn't have any pain there. I rubbed it a little bit more, and it was a little bit sensitive. Then the the second day, I didn't feel a thing. So it works. And I think like you're being so 40 years in holistic living, you have the advantage of being around all this. And it's a beautiful thing. The body is so powerful if we just let it do what it's designed to do.
Right. I know in holistic health, they talk about trusting the body's innate intelligence. So you have various forms of complementary or alternative medicine that take that into account, that the body knows what to do if it gets the right prompts. So, for instance, with homeopathic medicine, it just needs the right stimulus to heal sometimes, and with that particular form of medicine, it's not into like suppressing, like cortisone cream. Gets rid of the pain, but it doesn't get out of the body. It makes you not feel it. But if you get the right homeopathic remedy, you might break out in a rash, but it's something coming from the inside out, being released, detoxing. So that's a really important cornerstone of alternative medicine is trusting the body. It's got the right mechanisms. It just sometimes, like with that needle, you need to unblock that channel. Like we all detox, and urination, defecation, but also sweat. A lot of people complain about sweating. And if you have really smelly sweat, it's kind of an indication that you're not detoxing enough. So rather than using a use deodorants rather than antiperspirants, because antiperspirants will block up your sweat glands on purpose so you don't smell. But if you're smelling, you need to get more out, like a sauna or something to help get rid of the toxins in your body, because it's dangerous to keep them inside, because that's some of the thought behind cancers, that if your body can't get rid of a toxin, it will store it somewhere. For women, often it's in the breast tissue. And so that is supposed to be possibly one of the reasons behind breast cancer, is like the fatty tissue is kind of dormant. We can stick stuff away there, but while it's stuck away, it may turn to something you don't want. So
tell me more about detoxing. I've always kind of been interested in it.
well, yeah, I worked with a few nutritionists through the years. I know there's one book that I've got. It's a dire title, but the title of the book is Detox or Die. And basically, we have to get rid of these toxins. And if we don't, it makes things go wrong in the body. So that's why, like you said, drinking water, preferably alkaline water, because most of our bodies are too acidic. So alkaline water helps balance acidity, which is also the perfect breeding ground for disease. Being in an alkaline state is less prone to being the right conditions for disease states. But yeah, detoxification. Yeah, hot bath. That's one of the reasons hot baths are good. Saunas, sweat lodges, drinking lots of water, going on. The best advice I got was from a nutritionist who says, don't do a fast, because that can release too much at once. but going on like a modified fast where, you give up like sugar, meat, uh, keep a really clean diet, like vegetables, and lots of water, maybe some detox tea to help latch onto things to get them out of your body because
Mhm.
we're healthier that way. And it makes us, our bodies run better without, having to try to work with all these built up toxins in our body, which also affects the brain. So you clear it out, you can think clearer.
Well, if I had to take a choice between a detox tea or a sauna, what would you recommend?
Um, well, detox tea I would recommend with like a longer program of clean eating and exercise. Um, uh, so it's kind of hard to say a choice between them, but I would
Mhm.
have a clean diet, get into a sauna and drink detox tea because as you sweat, some of the things in a detox tea would be like dandelion and burdock, milk thistle, things that will detoxify your liver, which is where a lot of uh, the liver filters all of your blood. So anything that's in there will build up there. So it's a good thing to clean out every once in a while. Um, and yeah, I mean, it's not really either or as much, but uh, sweating
Let
is
me
good for
you
us. It's
you
not just
mentioned
inconvenient. What?
yeah, you mentioned, any press deodorants. If I'm stinking, like
Yeah.
if I don't wear deodorant, oh, I stink. Is it because I have a lot of toxins in? Is it possible that the body will not stink if you detox and get them all out? Or is that just
Yeah,
a myth?
that's generally the idea is to clean out all the stuff that makes you stink because deodorants will use a pleasant odor to counteract whatever you're smelling like.
Mhm,
Antiperspirant will usually uses aluminum, which is not good. There's also aluminum in our environment and in some food products that will also clog up the sweat glands. So it's another thing to help try to get rid of. So your
mhm,
detox channels are totally open because if they're clogged, it backs up, and that's when you will really stink, especially if you're on a standard American diet,
mhm,
which is a lot of fast food and sugar. And, not everybody can eat everything equally as well. We all have to fine tune our diets to what works for us, um,
mhm,
which is, sometimes uh, to your point, like don't eat the donuts, eat the salad. Uh,
mhm.
I'm eating restaurants a lot, and there's always that choice of like, I want the fish and chips or to the salad. And I know what tastes better to me, but I'll go for the thing that I know is better for me. And um,
Well, in
overall,
your experience, that if we eat cleanly and we're doing as much as we can, would the body, would you notice it in the detox process when we're sweating? Is that the cleaner we eat, the less the smell will be because there's less toxins
well,
coming out of the body?
that to a certain extent, yeah. I mean, there are people who have conditions that are kind of outside of that paradigm. Like if you have, I don't know, trouble with your kidney. I don't know, the different organs, there can be conditions that will contribute to not smelling great. But I think overall, I think most people will benefit from detoxifying their bodies, not eating the same junk every day. And it's hard because, our natural instinct is to eat something every time we're hungry. But is to definitely benefit from my nutritionist said like a straight up fast releases too much into our system at once. So nobody wants to have that splitting headache. You can't function, but slow it down. Fiber. I take psyllium husk capsules every day, which also helps me with my blood sugar because it latches onto sugar in the bloodstream and takes it out. And that's all. I watch my blood sugar levels these days because.
Are you testing your blood sugar levels on a regular basis?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm diabetic now, so I do that, and I take insulin. So I got to watch what I eat, and there's tempting stuff all the time. Put right in front of me. It's like okay. It's hard to resist the cookies at the cookout.
Yeah, I remember when I first went to Europe, and this was 35 years ago, and was in a area where they had bakeries, and I'm looking and seeing the most gorgeous looking pastries I've ever seen. And so when I ordered one, I was expecting the American sugar, and it was completely different. They didn't have the sugar that was, and it was kind of, my taste buds were not ready for that because I was expecting it to be sweeter,
Right.
and it wasn't. And so
that
was
an
eye opener to how much sugar I was exposed to and eating. And then when I went somewhere else, they didn't put the sugar like we put in our foods. And it was, man, the taste buds were definitely hitting on a different level of sugar.
Right. And you can reset them to a saner level of sugar. I mean, I had the experience. I got turned on to a book called Sugar Blues by William Duffy, which was like really eye-opening to the role of sugar in Western civilization, which I won't get too much into, but yeah, it's so prevalent in our society. And
I probably before my stroke had that after dinner sugar craving because I just got into a routine. I don't have it anymore. I don't even have. I can actually say no to cookies, no to donuts. We have them. I just came from church, and there's always donuts there. And I used to be able to grab one and eat it because hey, it was there and it tasted good. But after you go through, it probably took me about a couple months to really go through that. I don't know if it was detoxing from sugar or what, but it took my body a decent amount of time to not have that craving.
Sure. When I first discovered that book, Sugar Blues, I made a conscious attempt to give up sugar. And I had been a typical drink of Coca-Cola, as a normal thing. And then after a week of having no sugar, I tried a Coke, and it was just sickly sweet. I mean, I couldn't. It was like, ooh. But I've become acclimated to that level, and that changed me forever. Was that realization that my nutritionist said the average American eats 150 pounds of sugar a year.
Wow.
And that's more than we, have been able to use well.
Yeah, I used to sell
Our bodies
25.
are not. That's why there's such a high degree of diabetes.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I used to sell 25-pound bags of sugar in my food service days. And when you look at these bags, they're so big, and you're using 6 of those bags a year. Holy mackerel. It's no wonder it
Right.
affects us the way it does and gives us that sugar craving. So I
Yes.
know we wanted to give our viewers a look into really holistic living. So I want to encourage them as we wind down to go to get more about it. They can go to petekane.me/Jay Tubb, and you can either schedule a time to be on Jay's podcast or search or learn more about holistic living.
Yes, please. Thank you, Pete.
Awesome. And I just encourage people to lean into holistic living because, the body responds to what you feed it and how you treat it. And if you treat it right and feed it right, it operates right. So thanks, Jay. I appreciate you having me on and really diving deeper into holistic living. Thank you so much.
See you.